Okay, folks, let's do this really challenging one. Okay, right from the very beginning, there's something I can do very quickly to get rid of something here. What can I do? The zero power, anything to the zero power is a 1. And when I get done, if I multiply by 1, it doesn't change anything. So I can just cross this out. Okay. All right. I'm going to do this a little bit differently, and maybe you might like this better. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and distribute these powers. So at the top, it is the coefficient of 3, and it's going to be raised to the negative 3 power. X, what's X going to be raised to? Negative 12, because remember, I'm multiplying powers. What is Y going to be raised to? Positive 6, because negative times negative is positive. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing down here. My 9 is going to be raised to the negative 1 power. My X is going to be raised to the negative 1 power. And my Y is going to be raised to the negative 1 power. Okay. Now, any base that is raised to a negative power is going to get flipped. Okay. This will not be flipped. Y to the 6th power, that's a positive power. It's not going to be flipped. So I'm going to leave that. And now I'm going to flip everything else. The 3 to the negative 3 power is going to come to the bottom. It's positive now. The power is positive. The 9 to the negative 1 is going to come to the top. It's now a positive 1. So I flip that, I flip that. I'm going to flip this. I get x to the 12th power on the bottom. I'm going to flip this. I get x to the 1st power on top. I'm going to flip this. I get y to the 1st power on top. With the y's, what am I doing with the power? Adding. So that's y to the 7th power on top. With the x's, what am I doing with the power? Subtracting. And where's the x going to wind up? On the bottom to the 11th power. What is 3 cubed? What is 9 divided by 27? Almost. It's 1/3. 27 is bigger on the bottom. 9 divided by 27 is 1/3. That's it right there. The alternate way you could have done it was to go ahead and move this to the bottom. And I'll just kind of show you how to get that started. You could have moved the 9xy to the top, and now it's to a positive 1 power. And you could have moved the 3x to the 4, y to the negative 2 to the bottom, and it would have been to the positive 3 power. You could have started that way. Even if you start that way, this is what your answer is going to wind up being. You could have started either way. Did anybody get that right? Okay, I see one hand. Oh, 2 hands. Okay. Okay, did anybody just miss one part of it? Maybe? Okay. That one's kind of difficult, and that would be something on a standardized test, folks. Okay. All right. We've got a rectangle. Key phrase here is area. Unlike yesterday, which was perimeter. Area means multiply length times width. So we actually do have a 2x2 box because we're multiplying. So I'm going to put 3x and 7. And then I'm going to put 2x and negative 3. When we multiply coefficients and add powers, so I'm going to get 6x squared, negative 9x, positive 14x, and negative 21. And now I can combine the x terms. So when I combine the x terms, I get a positive 5x. And I bring down the other terms. There is the expression for the area, 6x squared plus 5x minus 21. So the answer was C. Okay. How many people got that right? Okay, nice. Okay, another 2x2 box. Something funky's going to happen though, that's why I put it on here. Okay, so when I multiply, I get 4x squared, positive 10x, negative 10x, and a negative 25. What happens when I combine my x terms? They go completely away. It's 10 minus 10. So I get 4x squared minus 25. There is no middle term. Did anybody get that? Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'll get started. First term, first box. Last term, last box. We multiply these together and get 6x squared, but the x squared breaks down into x times x, so I'm just going to go ahead and put my x's in the boxes and forget about that part. So I have 3 times 2, which is 6. What goes in the bottom? The middle term, negative 7. Okay? Now, I am looking for my magic numbers, and I told you all that I am going to show you the trick to help you with magic numbers, and I know y'all know it, but there's people that this is the stumbling block right here. This part right here is the stumbling block. So I'm going to give some of you kind of a way to help yourself out. Okay, but remember, for those of you like, no, I've been getting this, I can get the magic numbers, you know, you want to keep practicing finding those without the calculator, because this will be calculator inactive. Some of this will be inactive. So if you can kind of exercise your brain with being able to find the magic numbers without a calculator, that's definitely what you want to do. The trick, okay, and I haven't showed you this trick. So the first thing I'm going to say is everybody needs a calculator. It's a great trick. Everybody needs a calculator. So let's make sure, if you don't have one, raise your hand, I'll get you one. Who else doesn't have one? We've all got one? Okay. So here's your trick. And again, I would try not to use it, okay, unless you have to. If everybody will go to y equals, okay, make sure there's nothing in there. If it is, clear it out. Okay, you're going to take this number 6, you're going to type in 6 divided by x, and the x is next to the green button there. See the x? Okay, so that's what it looks like. 6 divided by x. I want to make sure everybody got that part. Did everybody get that part? Everybody find y equals? Everybody do 6 divided by x. Okay, now what you're going to do is, in yellow, see the graph button? In yellow it says table. So if you press second and the graph button, it's going to take you to a table. Y'all, these are your factors for 6. 1 times 6, 3 times 2, and then check it out. If you scroll in the other direction, negative 1 times negative 6, negative 2 times negative 3. So y'all, when you have a big old number like 60, and you're like, whoa, there's a lot of factors, this will list them all for you. Obviously, you're not fooling with the ones with the decimals. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the integers. So we got 2 times 3, 1 times 6, negative 1 times negative 6, negative 2 times negative 3. Okay, how do I know when to stop? Well, notice it started all over again. You got negative 2 times negative 3, then they do negative 3 times negative 2. Starts all over again. Okay, then when you start getting to decimals and things, and you're getting nothing but decimals, you've gone too far. Okay, so just showing you that trick. Whatever the top number is that you are multiplying to get to, you just put that number in and divide by x and go to the table, and you'll get a list of factors. Okay? Okay, so we'll practice that a little bit. So what are my magic numbers? So let's see. Right here, we know that if we combine that -1 and that -6, I get a -7. So that is the magic numbers. -1 and -6. I can stop right there. When I make my parentheses, what are my signs going to be? In the parentheses, what are my signs going to be? Remember I said, the magic numbers always reveal the signs. Both of my signs in those parentheses are going to be negative. Both of them. Okay, so let's go ahead and pop these in. -1, -6. Okay, if you flip these, it's okay. Okay, greatest common factor here is 2x. Greatest common factor here is a 1. Y'all, if you flip these numbers, then your 2x and 1 should be on top. Okay? Greatest common factor down the first column is x. Greatest common factor down the last column is 3. Again, if you had these numbers flipped, your x and 3 are on the side, and it doesn't matter. So now my factored form is, set up two parentheses, I have 2x and 1 in one of the parentheses, I have an x and a 3 in the others. I look back, both my signs are negative, so I need minus signs. If you wrote it this way, x minus 3 and 2x minus 1, it's the same thing. It's just fine. How many people had that before I did it? Maybe without the signs. Did you have the signs right? Okay. Okay, just remember, y'all, the magic numbers reveal what your signs are going to be. Either both signs negative, both signs positive, or the signs are different. Okay? Okay, let's do another one. Okay, we're going to factor 5x squared minus 22x plus 8 together. So first term goes in the first box, last term goes in the last box. When I multiply, I get 40, and the x squareds, I go ahead and break that down in the other two boxes. What term goes in the bottom of the x? Negative 22. The middle term goes in the bottom of the x. So now I'm looking for what multiplies to get me to 40, but combines to get me to negative 22. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate the calculator again. Okay, so if you go to y equals, and you put in 40 divided by x, the table is here in yellow, right up here in yellow, so I'm going to press second table. And y'all, at this point, let me see if I can get it where you can see. I'm just going to scroll and take a peek at what's going on here. So I've got a -5 times -8. I've got -4 times -10. I've got -2 times -20. Then if I keep scrolling, I go to the positives. There's 2 times 20, 4 times 10, 5 times 8. And see, did you see it switch around? 8 times 5? So I know I can stop. And so now when I combine, I'm trying to get a -22. By the way, if you're scrolling up, you've got to be on the X part for it to scroll up. Like, if I'm on the Y, it won't scroll up. So what'd y'all come up with? -2 and -20. And you can see right there they are in the list. When I combine those, I get -22. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. What are my signs in my parentheses? Both of these are negative. Both of my signs are minus. So I'm going to put my -2 and my -20. And again, doesn't matter if you flip these. Okay, here, what's my greatest common factor? 5x. Here, what's my greatest common factor? 2. No x. There's not an x in that. Okay, greatest common factor down the first column. 1 what? 1x. And greatest common factor here? 4. So 5x and 2 go in one of my parentheses. X and 4 go in the other one. How many people got that before I did it? Okay. All right. One more, and then I'll let you practice on Delta Math. I just got to kind of show you all the options here. Okay. So we're going to factor x squared plus 12x plus 35. Now, I'm going to do this one with you because something's going to happen here that you're going to be like, First term goes in the first box. Last term goes in the last box. The reason why I wanted to do this with you is because I would think when you get to this point, like some hands would go up and you'd be like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Y'all, don't forget, what coefficient is in front of that x squared? Y'all, it's a 1. We're still, the rules haven't changed. So what's 35 times 1? Yeah, so y'all, there's no difference here. And the x squared will break down as what? The x squared part. X and x. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in the boxes. What goes here? 12, the middle term. Okay. Again, find your magic numbers, or you can go to y equals in the calculator and put 35 divided by x in the calculator and scroll up and down. What do we get for magic numbers?
7 and 5.
It's 7 and 5. When I multiply, I get 35. When I combine, I get 12. I'm going to stop right there. What are my signs in my parentheses? Both of these are positive. Both signs are positive. I'm going to go ahead and put a 7 and a 5. All right, I want you guys to do greatest common factor, greatest common factor. I'm going to stop. I want you guys to try to do greatest common factor, greatest common factor. Greatest common factor across the first row is just an x. It's not 5. Greatest common factor across the second row? 7. Greatest common factor down the first column? 1 what? Greatest common factor down the second column? So we got an x and a 7 in the first slots. We've got an x and a 5 in the second slots. So now here's my question. I'm trying to figure out how to ask it. There's another little something that some of y'all may have noticed with this one. It's almost like overkill. how it's different than some of the rest. Has anybody noticed something at all? I want to see if y'all notice something. Okay, they're both just X in the front. That is one thing. And look what is here. Just an X squared. It's not 5X squared. It's not 6X squared. It's not 3X squared. It's just an X squared. Well, y'all think about it. How does X squared break down? That's what's in the front. Now there's something else.
35. 5 times 7 is 35.
Okay, 5 times 7 is 35. Yeah. Trying to see if there's something else. Let me ask.
Two numbers on your X, like the two.
That's
numbers.
what I wanted y'all to see. Y'all, these are called easy trinomials. When you got to here, you didn't even have to put them in the box. That's what goes in the other slots. Look, that's what goes in the other slots. With easy trinomials, this is going to come out just like these magic numbers. You can stop right there. Now, y'all, I be careful. I'm careful in saying that because y'all are always looking for shortcuts. So y'all won't remember anything I say except for stop right there, and y'all going to start doing it on the hard ones. You can't do it on the hard ones. Okay, notice that has a 2 in front. This is not what's in the last slots. Okay? Y'all good? Okay.